and we are developing our infrastructure, power and transport, and modernizing our ports.
Nigeria and Netherlands to deepen relations in critical economic sectors as President Buhari insists Nigeria remains a very attractive investment destination. No hiding place for perpetrators of electoral violence. House of Representatives investigate alleged security breaches.
The first thing is to uphold the sanctity of the legal profession.
4,456 new wigs vow to uphold the rule of law. Good evening and welcome to Network News. I'm Rhoda Anona. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Abuja on the network service of the NTA. Also reading with me tonight in Lagos is Dotun Ogunyemi. Nigeria and the Kingdom of Netherlands have pledged to deepen and expand the highly beneficial relations between the two countries in critical economic sectors, especially trade, investment and security. This is contained in a communique issued after the high-level engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the visiting Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has more details.
It was a warm and befitting welcome for the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte by President Muhammadu Buhari on his first official visit to Nigeria. After the exchange of pleasantries with their respective countries' delegations, comprising ministers and chief executive officers of some major companies, the two leaders retreated for talks on areas of common interest. Apart from reviewing the progress made regarding the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding on Deepening Bilateral Relations signed in 2018 in The Hague, the two leaders described as welcoming the high levels of bilateral trade volumes as well as private sector investments. A communique signed by the Nigerian ambassador to the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the deputy head of mission of the Netherlands Embassy in Abuja noted the contribution of Dutch private businesses to the Nigerian economy, while Nigeria confirms its commitment towards continuing reforms for a conducive business and investment environment. The Netherlands pledges to continue assisting Nigeria for an increase in agricultural productivity, especially horticulture, seed, and sustainable palm oil production.
To Dutch people, everything in this country is huge, is big. It's absolutely clear that we have a lot to offer each other. There are already strong economic ties between our countries. And I'm proud to say that the Netherlands is Nigeria's third biggest trading partner, as an exporter and as an importer of Nigerian products. And there's still a lot of room to expand our trade. The future of Dutch-Nigerian relations is full of opportunities. President Buhari and I will work hard to make sure that together we seize those opportunities. And I'm looking forward to that future together between the Netherlands and Nigeria. But can I also say that I look forward to working together with President Buhari, because we have really struck a relationship which I value highly.
President Buhari and the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte also discussed the challenging security situation in Nigeria, the fight against human trafficking and humanitarian issues, with Prime Minister Mark Rutte acknowledging the sustained efforts of Nigeria in the fight against insurgency as well as encountering violent extremism. He promised necessary support by the Kingdom of the Netherlands towards mitigating the impact of insecurity and displacement.
For example, we discussed in 2018 at length, just to mention one issue, the Lake Chad question, and how can we work together. And we hosted a meeting in the Netherlands earlier this year on Lake Chad. And what can we do, let's say, in the immediate future? So separating it from the more structural solution. What can we do in the immediate future to use some of the Dutch expertise in terms of water? And you know you have to call us when you have too much or not enough. If it is not clean or too clean, we can help you. And as the President was telling me, I think 30 million people, you mentioned, are depending on the lake itself and the economy coming out of it. So this is an important, just to mention one example of where we try to be helpful.
The next round of consultations between Nigeria and the Kingdom of the Netherlands will hold in The Hague in 2020. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says with the undisputed and favorable economic indices, Nigeria offers one of the highest returns on investment in the world. At a business lunch with the visiting Dutch Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, the president insists that indeed Nigeria is a very attractive investment destination. Here again is Adamu Sambo.
Nigeria and the Kingdom of the Netherlands enjoy excellent trade relations that preceded formal diplomatic ties. Although the two countries are not at the same level of economic development, President Muhammadu Buhari said economic opportunities abound for collaboration and mutual benefits.
Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. We are moving up in World Bank ease of doing business rating. We are tackling corruption and we are developing our infrastructure, power and transport, and modernizing our ports.
He said with abundant natural resources, fertile land, affordable labor, and a huge market, there is no better place for investment than Nigeria, which he also said is making frantic efforts towards eliminating bottlenecks in the grid capacity of power supply for sustainable economic growth.
Now is the opportune moment for Nigeria and the Netherlands to engage more concretely and collaborate more closely for our mutual economic benefit and sustainable development of our two countries. As we develop our infrastructure, our macroeconomic policies are being strengthened in order to guarantee economic stability.
We are already good at working together. But what really unites the Nigerians and the Dutch is the ambition to always go that extra mile. And there are plenty of opportunities, whether it is in agri-food, energy, health, maritime technology, or another economic sectors.
Prime Minister Mark Rutte, who is on a two-day visit to Nigeria, is accompanied by chief executive officers of Dutch multinationals currently operating in Nigeria with huge investment portfolios in, amongst others, agriculture, finance, as well as oil and gas sectors. One of the companies, Royal Friesland Campina, represented by its managing director, Ben Langard, signed a memorandum of understanding on dairy chain development with the Niger State government led by Governor Abubakar Sani Bello.
We have a dairy development program where we help farmers to improve the quality and the quantity of the milk production. And we do that in Oyo State already, and we're going to extend that now to Niger State.
We are very excited about the whole thing because it will improve our revenues, it will create jobs, and most importantly, there will be value addition in the livestock industry.
So we at the ministry, we're going to look at this MOU and see how we can actually implement, and not just implement, but really practicalize the tenets contained in the MOU.
The deal is expected to save for Nigeria about $1.2 billion from milk importation annually. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, has thrown her weight behind efforts by the National Assembly to put an end to hate speech phenomenon in the nation's body politic, describing it as desirable. Addressing journalists left an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari, the UN Deputy Scribe also appreciated President Buhari's zero tolerance for political violence in the country. Here again is Adamu Sambo from the State House.
Amina Mohammed was in the State House to formally present a message of appreciation from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres to President Muhammadu Buhari for his exemplary and selfless leadership not only in Nigeria but across the West African sub-region. The UN scribe is particularly delighted with the Nigerian leaders' efforts at addressing challenges of conflicts, climate change, and some of the political issues around elections.
Mine was to commend him for condemning the recent loss of life of a woman in politics in Kogi State. The fact that he has shown zero tolerance for it and insisted on an investigation for us is important, especially as we start this week that looks at gender-based violence in all its ramifications.
The discussions with the president, she said, also centered on humanitarian issues in parts of the country, the support of the United Nations, finding pathways to normalizing migration, as well as the 16 days of activation on gender-based violence, which started on Monday. On hate speech, the UN Deputy Secretary General said, although the United Nations will not support death penalty, it has also put in place a special envoy and indeed a strategy towards addressing the global phenomenon.
We are in a space where hate speech has reached an all-time high, and so any checks and balances that we can put into a society, into a country, into a region to bring an end to that is welcome. So again, the way that the legislation is being followed to try to put that in place I think is commendable. She made a case for multilateralism towards ensuring that technology does not do any harm to the society. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Kingdom of Netherlands has promised to deepen technical support for the Nigerian Immigration Service. This was made known when the Controller General of Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, received a delegation from the Kingdom in Abuja. Victor Azu has the report.
Camaraderie, and why not? This relationship between the Kingdom of Netherlands and the Nigeria Immigration Service has seen 25 years of innovation and progress, helped in no small measure by technical support of the Dutch. Yet, this visit is to ascertain how far the service has come in meeting international best practices and possible areas of support. The presentation of the Controller General of Immigration, Mohammed Babandede, sheds the desired light. Call it an insight into prospects and challenges, and you won't be wrong.
Our good arrival system at the airport, our form of hospitality, the way we receive passengers is greatly influenced by the Dutch approach to human management.
Apparently satisfied with the progress being made, leader of the Dutch delegation, Ankie Broekers-Nol, announces that the Kingdom will improve on its technical support, especially in the training of personnel.
The Netherlands is offering capacity. The Royal Netherlands Marechaussee can conduct this training in the Netherlands. Its commander discussed this matter in the Frontex Management Board, and achieved Frontex support would even extend the training capacity.
Nigerians may now expect a more pronounced touch of the Dutch in the services provided by the Nigeria Immigration Service. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
We turn our attention now to the legislature, where President Muhammadu Buhari has transmitted a letter to the Senate seeking approval of the 2019-2020 budget estimate for the Niger Delta Development Commission. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idekbafo reports that the request is in fulfillment of Section 18 of the NDDC Establishment Act.
It was another first for the Red Chamber to receive budget estimates for the NDDC ahead of the proposed fiscal year.
This is a very good sign that we are operating at the same frequency with the executive arm of government, that we are in a hurry to deal with matters of budget.
This elicited a point of order from the minority leader, Einaya Abaribe.
What it will mean is that the budget will go to the relevant committee of appropriation and the NDDC committee, and some person will come to defend the budget. Mr. President, I fear that we may run into a problem of delayed budget again.
His point of order was sustained by the President of the Senate.
Point of order.
The Senate adopted a motion by Degi Bio Barakuma, who is now Deputy Governor-elect of Bayelsa State, on the need to revive the Brass LNG project in view of government's investment and its strategic role in the implementation of the energy agreement with the Russian government.
The execution of the Brass LNG project had got the sum of about $1.2 billion.
Matters of urgent public importance on the need to curb electoral violence and that to eliminate violence against women were also adopted.
The cases of rape of 2-week-old and 6-month-old babies, or rape of 60 to 80 years old women, clearly tells us this menace is more deeply rooted.
The time has come
for Nigeria to take a serious stance against violence, against rape, and especially during elections.
4 bills, including that to amend the Criminal Code Act of 2004 to increase punishment for the offenses of kidnapping and remove gender restrictions in the offenses of rape and other matters, were passed at second reading. Meanwhile, the Senate President granted audience to the Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, Carlos Trejososa, and these delegates from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Vivian Idekbefo, NTA News.
All right, you're watching Network News. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we have more. Stay with us.
Imagine, if you may, in the not-too-distant future, a Nigeria of unbelievable accomplishments. A Nigeria so advanced that most of the problems we now face would by then have been relegated to the pages of history forever. That Nigeria is not just a possibility, it's an imperative destination, one that we must reach, as it may very well be our only hope for the very survival of our nation. And that is why the NADDC this year is starting an automotive design challenge to unlock those powerful automotive design capabilities within our youth. This is a perfect and exciting opportunity for all the talented Nigerians out there to be part of creating that dynamic future in Nigeria's automotive and transportation sector.
For more information, visit naddcdesignchallenge.com.
The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, Senator Dr. Chris Nwabweze Ngige, cordially invites the general public to the 18th National Productivity Day celebration and conferment of National Productivity Order of Merit, NPOM Award. Theme: Productivity for National Re-engineering, Security and Growth. Date: Thursday, 28 November 2019. Time 9 a.m. Venue: NAV Conference Center and Suites, close to Next Cash and Carry, Kado, Abuja. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Award lecture, guest speaker, Professor Mike Obadan, Chairman, Goldman Education Academy. Dr. Kashim Ako, Director General, National Productivity Center, Abuja. Announcer.
Hey, bro, what's up, man?
Wait. Sure, son, I want the bicycle.
Enjoy more data than before on Airtel Home Broadband. Get up to 160 gigabytes on routers with 25,000 Naira and 55 gigabytes on Airtel MiFis with 12,000 Naira. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
National Center for Petroleum Research and Development, Bauchi, of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, presents the second summit on research activities on Nigeria's frontier basins. Theme: Nigeria's frontier basins, vehicle for reserve growth through research and development. Venue: PTDF Auditorium, PTDF House, opposite Shehu Yaradua Center, Central Area, Abuja. Date: Monday 2nd to Tuesday 3rd December 2019. Chairman Opening Ceremony: Dr. Ogbunaya Onu, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. Special Guest of Honor: Chief Timoteo Siva, Honorable Minister of State of Petroleum Resources. Chief Host: Professor Eli Jidere Bala, DG and CEO, Energy Commission of Nigeria. Keynote Speaker: Malamele Kolo Kiari, GMD and NPC. Professor M.B. Abubakar, Director, National Center for Petroleum Research and Development, ATBU Bauchi. Announcer:
DOM Communications Limited, publisher of Nigerian Pilot Newspapers, presents 10th anniversary of the Nigerian Pilot Newspapers with the theme celebrating 10 years of robust journalism and nation building under the distinguished chairmanship of His Royal Majesty Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, Ooni of Ife. Special guest of honor, SGF Boss Mustafa. Events lineup include public lecture, award presentation, and gala night. Award nominees in different categories include the governors of Cross River, Bauchi, Rivers, Kano, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Zamfara, Kaduna, while others also include the Minister of Niger Delta, the Governor of Edo State, Oyo, Benue, Anambra, as well as a host of others. The day will be spiced up with performances by Harry Song, Tenny, MC Tagoye, and OK Bakasi. Date: Thursday, 12th of December 2019. Venue: Ladi Kwali Hall, Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Abuja. Time: 4 p.m. Red carpet. Guests of honor: Senate President, Speaker House of Representatives, and Minister of Information and Culture. Chief Host: Mohammed Musa Bello, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Host: Prince Dennis Sami, Chairman Publisher, Nigerian Pilot Newspapers. For further inquiries, please call the following phone numbers.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want me get. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
You're welcome back, and if you just joined us, you're watching the Network News at 9 live on the NTA. We're still talking legislature as the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the alleged security breach and violence during the November 16th governorship election in Kogi and Bayelsa states. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The motion from Deputy Minority Leader Tobi Okechukwu elicited comments from House members.
66,241 police personnel were deployed for the elections.
I believe that Nigerians will have the free choice to choose who they want to choose.
House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila made additional contribution to the prayers of the motion, which were subsequently adopted.
There shall be no reference to any political party in the report, so that such is not used against whether it's PDP or APC in court, and we allow the courts to do their work.
Also adopted during plenary was a call from Representative Roland Igbapa urging investigations on oil spillage in Delta State, which led to fire outbreak, and a motion from Muraino Ajibola seeking the provision of relief materials to victims of fire disaster at a market in Ibadan and Unipe along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Eyewitnesses said that the fire started around 12 midnight, whilst that of at Unipe occurred in broad daylight at about 3 p.m.
Representative Nolim Naji, in a motion supported by House members, urged government to make funds available to FEMA to carry out maintenance work on roads across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, while the motion tabled by Kasimo Bello Megari on the need to relocate the correctional center in Jalingo was also adopted.
The locations of the center in the community is constituting a very serious nuisance to the residents due to the occasional incidents of riot, jailbreak, security challenges, and sewage coming out of the center.
Plenary featured the passage of 2 bills at second reading, namely a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Malumfashi in Katsina State, and a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Ilaorangu, in Osun State. House Speaker also read a presidential communication notifying members on the submission of the 2019-2020 budget estimates for the Niger Delta Development Commission for consideration and passage. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And talking politics, the presidency has described as false and irresponsible reports that former President Goodluck Jonathan was blackmailed to support the governing party APC in the recent Bayelsa state elections. While addressing the media in Abuja on Tuesday, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, expressed shock that such a story could be considered believable to the point of being given space in some newspapers. Shehu said the former president had been out of power for almost 5 years without any previous allegations of government blackmail cropping up. He also noted that there were more than enough reasons for Dr. Jonathan to work against his party PDP in the just concluded Bayelsa election without interference by President Muhammadu Buhari. The Progressives Governors Party has ended with a resolve to continue to strengthen institutional framework for effective service delivery that will meet the yearnings and aspirations of citizens of the country. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, gave this position while briefing newsmen at the end of the parley held in Jos. Priscilla Gurunan reports.
In line with the theme of the parley, which is strengthening public service delivery, the Progressive Governors Forum rose with the resolve to continue to strengthen critical areas of public sectors such as the economy, health, education, transport, security and infrastructure. On the peer review mechanism, the chairman said the exchange of ideas and sharing of experiences by the various states afforded them to have major takeaways, which will be useful in their policy direction and implementation.
The APC governors held the federal government Progressive Governors Party on policy to review what has been achieved in the last few years from the last party and what we do going forward. Decisions were made which were very valuable, and more importantly, acknowledgements were made by the Progressive Governors of the tremendous support and leadership and successes recorded as a result of the commendable leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The Progressive Governors Forum further applauded President Muhammadu Buhari for the giant strides being recorded by his administration towards building a socially cohesive Nigeria, and also commended Governor Simon Lalong for his initiatives in ensuring that a new peaceful state is emerging under his uncommon leadership. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The people of Badagry have expressed absolute confidence in the federal government's desire to check cross-border concerns in the overall interest of the country. Anthony Forsing completes the report.
When the federal government's high-powered delegation touched down at the Seme border for an on-the-spot assessment, it was obvious that all does not seem well. Reason? It is no more business as usual, where the federal government loses and a few people feed fat. The Information and Culture Minister told the youths of the area to sustain their confidence in the present administration as President Muhammadu Buhari means well for their future. Babatunde Hunkwe is a member, House of Representatives from the area.
We support government policies, despite the fact that it's coming with pain. But we are fully in support of the closure, because we believe that it's going to bring good things to us.
And to his people, he equally called on them to be law-abiding and respect constituted authority.
To always be peaceful, to always cooperate with government and ensure that wherever they put us, or wherever way they say we should move, we should cooperate with the security people.
The federal government on August 29th decided to close its borders for some security reasons. From the Seme Border Control Post, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, says more commitment is required to support the Decade Action in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. She said the major concern is the uncertainty which climate change has plunged the world into. Usman Aliyu has more.
Dryness of the lake chart, and in contrast, too much rains in some parts of Nigeria beyond their capacity to support farmlands have good yields are just few instances of modern challenges facing the world. A call to climate action is one which the United Nations predicates can prevent humanitarian situations in some countries of the world. And so the visit by the United Nations Deputy Secretary General here is to advocate more commitments from Nigeria in addressing key components of the Sustainable Development Goals.
The GA took some stock taking on the SDGs. 5 years in, we are not where we ought to be. We're considerably off track across the globe. It's a global agenda. And as we come to Nigeria, we continue to advocate for the support for the Decade of Action, which starts next year, and that we look at the cooperation framework we have with you.
The United Nations says Nigeria's rating at the moment is high on multilateral cooperation and regional leadership in Africa, just as the country is making a difference on good governance, economic development, and fighting corruption.
Is something we fully subscribe to, and multilateralism.
The United Nations under her UNDP organ assured Nigeria and other countries of continued support to them and raising their ambitions on development. In Abuja, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
We turn our attention now to the judiciary, as the judiciary is said to be the hope of the common man, and to this end 4,456 newly inducted judicial officers have been challenged to uphold the rule of law and the image of the law profession. This was at the court bar ceremony of the new weeks in Abuja. Omenka Marachuku reports.
Are the new weeks admitted into the Temple of Justice? They are now joining the league of other colleagues to ensure quick dispensation of justice in Nigeria.
The first thing is to uphold the sanctity of the legal profession. So they expect you to uphold the pillars of the legal profession, such as justice.
I will be able to uphold the law in Nigeria and see that justice is done in any case I'm handling or in any court.
Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, called on judicial officers not to involve in professional misconduct.
I therefore expect from you, as lawyers, to exhibit the highest level of professional ethics and decorum. You must be steadfast and preserve the honor and dignity of the profession.
Out of 5,689 that participated in the examination, 4,456 were successful, with 147 candidates making first class. In Abuja, Umenka Marchku, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has admitted to bail Faisal Maina, the son of the former chairman of the defunct pension reforms task team, Abdurrashid Maina. Justice Okon Abang granted the bail application based on the constitutional provision on presumption of innocence on the part of the accused. Olabode Arewa reports.
His own trial against Faisal Maina, the prosecution counsel Salisu Abubakar indicated readiness to continue trial. However, the court informed the parties that the ruling on Faisal's bail application, argued on 7th November 2019, was ready and proceeded to read same. Faisal was thereafter admitted to bail in the sum of 60 million naira with one surety, who must be a member of the House of Representatives without a criminal record. The court, in reaching this decision, considered that the 20-year-old Faisal was currently undergoing treatment for depression. Faisal Maina is facing a 3-count charge of operating an anonymous bank account, through which he allegedly laundered 230 million naira. Meanwhile, the court has admitted as exhibits statements of bank accounts allegedly used by Abdurrashid Maina to launder money while in office. Justice Okunabang held that the 3 electronically generated documents were obtained in accordance with Section 84 of the Evidence Act. Maina is facing a 9-count charge of fraud, theft, and money laundering. The 2 cases involving father and son have been adjourned to Wednesday, the 27th of November. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News at 9. We sincerely apologize for the technical hitch we had earlier on during the bulletin, but let's take you back to that earlier report on the House plenary.
The motion from Deputy Minority Leader Tobi Okechukwu elicited comments from House members.
66,241 police personnel were deployed for the elections.
I believe that Nigerians will have the free choice to choose who they want to choose.
House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila made additional contributions to the prayers of the motion, which were subsequently adopted.
There shall be no reference to any political party in the report, so that such is not used against whether it's PDP or APC in court, and we allow the courts to do their work.
Also adopted during plenary was a call from Representative Roland Igbakpa urging investigations on oil spillage in Delta State, which led to fire outbreak, and a motion from Muraino Ajibola seeking the provision of relief materials to victims of fire disaster at a market in Ibadan and Unipe along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Eyewitnesses said that the fire started around 12 midnight, whilst that of Atunipepe occurred in broad daylight at about 3 p.m.
Representative Nolim Naji, in a motion supported by House members, urged government to make funds available to FEMA to carry out maintenance work on roads across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, while the motion tabled by Kasimo Bello Megari on the need to relocate the correctional center in Jalingo was also adopted.
The locations of the center in the community is constituting a very serious nuisance to the residents due to the occasional incidents of riot, jailbreak, security challenges, and sewage coming out of the center.
Plenary featured the passage of 2 bills at second reading, namely a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture Malumfashi in Katsina State and a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education Ilaorangu in Osun State. House Speaker also read a presidential communication notifying members on the submission of the 2019-2020 budget estimates for the Niger Delta Development Commission for consideration and passage. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it has secured more than 900 convictions across the country in the year 2019 and recovered money worth billions of naira, which is now a revenue generation for the government that forms part of the budget. The Secretary of the Commission, Ola Olukoyede, stated this while receiving members of the Course 28 of the National Defense College who were at the Anti-Graft Agency to understudy the relationship between corruption and insecurity to help them in formulating policies that will promote good governance in the country.
There is every propensity that where you have corruption, you have insecurity. So there is a strong link. So if we as anti-corruption agency and also the military come together to partner in the area of national security, I think that will also help the national development of this country.
When you are able to fight corruption, there will be a lot of resources that the country can channel towards national development. And when there's national development, of course, it has a nexus with national security. If people are well taken care of.
The visit is also an avenue to brainstorm and come up with ways of creating synergy between the Anti-Graft Agency, the military, paramilitary and other agencies to combat corruption. With the current increase in trans-border crime, global population explosion and globalization, Nigeria is adopting proactive monitoring intelligence report in her neighborhood to enhance internal security. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, in a message to the Foreign Policy and Security Conference in Abuja, says it is in response to the changing nature of crimes globally.
Piece of terror attacks by Al-Shabaab in Somalia, ISIS in Libya, Asardin in Mali, and Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria have had devastating impact on millions of people. The convergence of most African countries' borders, enhancing seamless movement, is said to have supported the importation of crime and other social vices,
This
conference is focused on examining evolving political, economic and security trends within Nigeria's strategic neighborhood.
In a globalized world without borders, the classical distinction between external and internal risks is no longer the primary grid for assessing the security environment.
The platform will also assess Nigeria's preparedness to tackle emerging transborder crime and harness expert recommendations relating to foreign and defense policy trust.
It is in recognition of the interplay of domestic and international security dynamics that Mr. President embarked on shuttle diplomacy with our neighboring states to solicit their support at addressing diverse threats confronting the country. The incidences of terrorism and insurgencies in the Lake Chad Basin area, the Sahel, and even parts of North Africa and the Maghreb have stimulated negative spillover consequences on the security and stability of Nigeria.
There has to be a way of striking a balance between the traditional media and the new media towards safeguarding the security of the nation.
The conference is part of the National Defense College's mandate to support research-based solutions to Nigeria's defense and security threat. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has ratified the protocol to amend the Convention for the Suppression of Unlawful Seizure of Aircraft, as well as the Suppression of Unlawful Act Against Safety of Civil Aviation, the Beijing Protocol 2010. The instruments were ratified by President Buhari on November 22, 2019. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. The protocol expands the scope of the Hague Convention to cover different forms of aircraft hijacking, including through modern technological means. The President also ratified the bilateral air service agreement between the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the government of the United Arab Emirates. With the execution of these instruments, it is expected that Nigeria's aviation links with the UAE will improve significantly. The Federal Executive Council had at its meeting of October 16, 2019, approved the ratification and the preparation of the requisite instruments of the ratification of aforementioned treaties and conventions. Over 1,100 Nigerian women have received free skills acquisition training and financial empowerment through the Elizabeth Jack Rich Aid Foundation in Abuja and Rivers State, respectively. The non-profits foundation led by Elizabeth Jack Rich says it remains committed to ensuring that the Nigerian women participate in building the economy as well as in ending gender inequality. Olusheye Adiagbo has details.
The narrative surrounding the plight of women in some parts of the world, as well as the neglect of many women in the Nigerian society, is receiving attention from concerned parties. Elizabeth Jack Rich Aid Foundation is one of such. Our foundation, in collaboration with the NNPC, Belema Oil JV, and Belema Aid Foundation, have been reaching out to thousands of women and girls. Tabitha Okun is a graduate of estate management, but has passion for agriculture. So, getting a free training on fish farming is the advantage she has been waiting for.
I now know the difference between male and female fish. You know, we know how to hatch fish from the scratch and now raise them, you know, to point of sale.
At the end of the training, checks of 100,000 naira were presented to all who participated. 50 of them were recognized for excellence and received an additional 100,000 naira each. Elizabeth Jack Rich explains her passion for the cause.
I believe our society is desperately in need of action, not just empty theory, which is why Margaret Thatcher once said, if you want something said, ask a man. But if you want something done, then ask a woman.
The most important gift that you can give to a woman is to employ her to empower herself and the community.
Elizabeth Jack Rich's effort in alleviating the sufferings and pains of women and girls is receiving recognition. One of such is the award by the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari joins the Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State, the Bello family, friends and well-wishers in celebrating Colonel Sani Bello at 77. He describes the journey of the former governor of Old Kano State as a lifetime of dedicated service to the community, state and the nation. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says, as a former military officer, former Nigerian High Commissioner to Zimbabwe, an accomplished businessman, amongst other leadership roles, the President affirms that Colonel Bello's discipline, exemplary team-building skills and dedication to duty, which distinguished him from others, consistently marked him out for honor. President Buhari wishes the celebrant the very best in his future endeavors and prays that Almighty Allah to sustain the septuagenarian with good health, peace and fulfillment. Let's now take you to Lagos, where Dotun is standing by with more stories. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Rhoda, and a warm welcome to Lagos. As part of activities to actualize its mandates aimed at coordinating and implementing the vision of the federal government targeted at the grassroots, the Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs is holding a strategic retreat in Lagos with key players in all sectors of the economy. Jennifer Igwe reports that the program is also meant to design framework to achieve set goals.
President Muhammadu Buhari's vision of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years is not just a target on paper, but one already in motion. One of the key targets of experts, stakeholders, and officials of the Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs at this 4-day strategic retreat in Lagos is to design a framework towards achieving this goal and other plans of the government, particularly those aimed at connecting the grassroots more to government.
And from the goals, we are not going to just do it, the kind of leave it just vague. Each and every activity is going to be given a timeline.
Agencies under the ministry have initiatives aimed at empowering Nigerians, and this meeting is a platform to deliberate on them.
Take custody of all proceeds coming from national lottery and gaming operations in the country and channel these proceeds towards the execution of good cause projects.
In August 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari recreated the Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. The ministry has 5 mandates, which includes coordination of key projects and initiatives of the presidency, and actively collaborate with the private sector to create more jobs. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Women in Nigeria have taken stand against rape and all forms of sexual harassment and violence against women and girls with a call on victims to speak out. This was at a lecture heralding a 16-day of activism in commemoration of the 2019 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, organized by Women Arise and the United Nations Information Center in Lagos. Lynn Lineke reports.
1 in 3 women is said to have experienced either physical or sexual abuse. Violence against women and girls is rated among the most widespread and devastating human rights violations in the world. Unfortunately, most of these cases are unreported due to impunity, shame, and gender inequality. The International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women is therefore in line with Sustainable Development Goal 5, which seeks to achieve gender balance and empower women to stamp out all forms of discrimination against women and girls in the society.
What we are calling for is people to come up, to shout, to expose, to disgrace those who are involved in these acts.
Theme for this year's World Day observance is Orange the World, Generation Equality Stands Against Rape.
When you balance gender, give women equal opportunity like men, most of the problems we have will be solved.
The ability to stand firm and speak up, we
serve as deterrent for others.
With a collective responsibility, the campaign aims at ending all forms of violence against women and girls by 2030. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Network News continues after this time out. Please stay tuned.
I should be on golden accessories. I should do bad.
Mommy, is it not too early to be dressed?
Too early, sure. I don't get side buses now.
Okay.
You think I go miss all the small shop? I don't do rishi.
Mommy.
Should be not that caterer when they come out, they get side mirror you take. And as for my women group, hey, not KSA or nothing at all.
Now when you get out?
You're familiar, Jerry. My picking.
Mommy, your credit still there, so?
Of course now. Now we the first credit like water. You not trust Glow?
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
You want to know where the party they shall let? Start here.
Glow Unlimited.
From our wonderful family, meet Smalley, our little one. He's always hanging out with friends. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power-up protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good. Hollandia.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want to get it. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
Let motor goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Your information dey important, just like your identity. Now the only way we fit take hala you o. Make you go browse easy.gotvafrica.com. Sign in with your IUC number and mobile number and scroll down to personal details and address. Then check well to see say everything bam. You fit change the one wey not correct. To finish everything, just click the save button and it don't finish.
Thank you. I make sure say my phone number dey correct. That's not why GoTV fit call me make I come collect my own awoof.
Angel, time for my phone in that way because now my correct phone number dey for book.
GoTV, live it, love it.
Now look me again, no. Make you go do your own.
You're welcome back. It's still Network News. Amina Nujim joins me now to update us on what's happening in the world of business. Amina, it's over to you.
Thank you, Rhoda. The two-day Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria has ended with the decision to retain the benchmark interest rate at 13.5% as well as maintain all other parameters. It also retained the asymmetric corridor at plus 200 minus 500 around the MPR. Cash reserve ratio retained at 22.5% and liquidity at 30%. The meeting, which is the last for the year, had all 11 members in attendance.
The improvements in the macroeconomic indicators, such as the gross domestic product, the non-performing loans ratio, the capital adequacy ratio of the banks, as well as the loan-to-deposit ratio, suggest that the current monetary policy stance is yielding results. It therefore feels that maintaining the current stance will be necessary in order to sustain these improvements.
Analysts had predicted that the NPC would leave the benchmark unchanged to spur economic growth in the fourth quarter of the year. The committee also noted that the bearish trend experienced in the capital market since the beginning of November is an attestation to the sustained stability in the equities market. And investors lost 73.58 billion naira. The equities market closed Tuesday on a negative note as the NSE All-Share Index depreciated by 0.56% to close at 26,883.33 basis points as against the appreciation recorded on Monday. Its year-to-date return stands at minus 14.47%. United Capital PLC, Zenith Bank and Dangote Sugar Refinery were the most active to boost market turnover. Guarantee and NTA Nigeria topped the market value list. Now, in absolute terms, Dangote Sugar Refinery led the gainers with 5.80% appreciation, followed by Nigerian Brew PLC. The losers chart was led by NTA Nigeria, Unilever and Access Bank. And that's about it on Business News. Rhoda, back to you.
Thank you very much, Amina. The National Executive Council approval of $250 million into the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority is said to have placed the authority in a better position to attract more direct foreign investment to the country. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NSA, Uche Orich, said that this at the Leadership 2019 Forum Series of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Nigeria's Sovereign Investment Authority has since 2012 been managing Nigeria's Sovereign Wealth Fund and has been said to be doing well, which informed the decision of the National Executive Council to approve additional funds for investments. This event by the Nigerian Pilot newspaper Leadership Forum Series offered the NSIA the opportunity to discuss the strides Nigeria is making through the agency.
We started and we concluded 2 of our 3 healthcare projects that we wanted to back up. The first is a PPP project with the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, which is a cancer treatment center.
In managing public and private assets, including the moribunds, Uche Orji says the authority is exploring public-private partnership approach and is being guided by risk assessment, management, and safety of funds. The publisher of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper, Dennis Sami, believes the achievements of the NSIA qualifies the managing director, Uche Orji, into his Hall of Fame.
We feel that it is part of our aspect of development to join the conversation, to bring people to talk about what they're doing and how they've been able to.
Now, the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has reassured Team Nigeria powerlifting champions and the rest of the organizing committee of her continued support towards the successful hosting of the forthcoming global event tagged Abuja 2020 World Powerlifting World Cup. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the First Lady stated this when she received in audience members of the organizing committee as well as the powerlifting champions.
Receiving Team Nigeria Powerlifting champions, comprising sportsmen and women of people with special needs as well as members of the organizing committee, the First Lady is overwhelmed with their resilience and doggedness for not allowing their disability to overshadow their spirit towards making the country proud, and as well setting the pace of becoming a source of inspiration by all. While urging them to keep the Nigerian flag flying, the First Lady has demonstrated her commitment to canvassing support from the relevant stakeholders towards a hitch-free exercise, taking into cognizance the facilities needed for the special persons as well as caliber of people coming into the country from across the globe for the event.
I'm happy to know about the successes recorded by the Nigerian para-powerlifting champions in the various competitions which qualified us to host the 2020 World Para-Powerlifting World Cup and African qualification, which will serve as road to Tokyo 2020 Paralympic for all African countries. I want to assure you of my total support as the Grand Patron and look forward to 2020 when the whole world will turn to Nigeria for the Para-Powerlifting World Cup.
The chairman organizing committee, Mahmoud Halilu Ahmad, told the First Lady, so far so good, the level of preparation of hosting the event in all ramifications, soliciting for continued prayer and support for a successful program.
We need a collaborative effort for a successful hosting of this event. That is the reason why we are here today, to intimate her with some of the arrangements we made so far.
The international body just came to.
And that's the much we can take on Network News tonight. We thank you for watching. I'm Rhoda Anonam.